Well, hello and welcome back, and thanks for coming back. What do you think of that for a view? Absolutely spectacular as we feast our eyes and we digest the blueness of the blue Mediterranean Sea. The sky is looking blue. That's the big boy from the arsenal of the Paphos Sea cruises. That's the ocean vision that's sailing out into the abyss. But don't worry, it'll be coming back in 3 or 4 hours with a bit of a party going on, and there's food and dancing, all inclusive and all those kind of things. Where are we? That's what you're wondering. Downtown Kato Paphos. That's the Anesthesia Beach Bar, which is themed in a bit of a ship, and it really is a great place to go, except that you have to use an app to order your drinks and to order your food. And well, as you understand, I'm an idiot in a blue hat and a pair of sunglasses, so it's much easier for me to just go and sit in the Pelican restaurant and order it with Addis. It's much easier. But if you are a bit cleverer than me, obviously you can go in there and use the app and use your smartphone and all those kind of things and get yourself a great, I know, steak sandwich, maybe a bacon sandwich, a coffee or something a little bit stronger, like a daiquiri perhaps, for a lady all the way up in Glasgow. You never know, whatever tickles your fancy, isn't it? But you've got to use an app, as I say. But this is the new modern way of thinking, isn't it? It's like in downtown Paphos now, if you want to park, you've got to use a smart app and all those kind of things. Very clever technology, but unfortunately I just can't get my head around it because, as I say, I'm an idiot. What's that hotel there? Well, that's the Alexander the Great Hotel, possibly the best hotel in the whole of downtown Paphos. Many people agree with that. If your name is Dayman and you're the girl in charge of the show, she's going to mosey on down there. Is it about 81 days, Dayman? Somewhere around there, isn't it? So not long at all. And not long after that, Andy and Nessie are coming. They're all the way out in the Greek islands at the moment, wiggling around on a big boat. And, well, drinking a bit of Coca-Cola, so it's not too bad. Now, big diggering going on, isn't it? But as you can see, that road slowly is starting to get tarmacked. So you never know, it might open up in a few weeks. But I've got a feeling that then going to dig this side up and start monkeying around as well. So the big diggering in and around Paphos is not going to come to an end anytime soon, unfortunately. See, they can't even put the railings up correctly, they're falling over. But anyway, that's life. But it's not going to end anytime soon, I understand that. That road's actually open. Oh my goodness. Let's go back and let's drive it, and then perhaps that could be a first on YouTube, especially for you. Oh my goodness, Marius Diamonds is open. That's not a good idea. Let's get the hell out of here, because, you know, if Archie Gracevilla Booth finds out, we could be in very big trouble indeed. Now, there's a bit of confusion going on here because most people are used to coming the way that I've come down. And you stay there, Gumbarrow, because I'm going this way. There we are. So we're going to go straight, and as you can see, I'm going the wrong way, on the wrong carriageway. But don't worry, it's like living in Greece, isn't it? There we are. So look at that. Could be a first drive on a brand new road in downtown Paphos. What is going on, eh, in the world? What are they doing with these roads? So I'll tell you what we're going to do now. See, as you understand, luckily for me, I'm a friend of the mayor, and I also know all the local policemen around here, and I know Captain Stavros, who's the chief of the Paphos Police, and I know him really well. He beats me up at least once a week. So there we are. I'm allowed to do whatever I want. Not really, but there we go. Hopefully he won't catch me. I'll go and talk to Paphos, who's the policeman on the harbour, by the way. So if you ever do get any problems, there is a little wooden hutch that says police. They're supposed to patrol up and down. I'm confusing my English there, but you know, it's hot, and they've got an air conditioning unit in there, so they like to close the door, have a smoke or two and a frappe, and, well, watch the girls go by, shall we say, and sit in the luxury of the air conditioned little office. Now and again they do venture out, and then Paphos comes down and sits with Mr. Chris. Who's Mr. Chris? Well, he's the sponge man, yes? The man who's the greatest sea sponge salesman in the world. And we were sitting there yesterday, so you had an idiot in a blue hat with a pair of black sunglasses on. That's me, obviously, Mr. Paul from Rikkos and me. You had Mr. Paphos, the policeman who's in charge of the harbour area, sitting next to me. And then next to him was the greatest sea sponge sponge salesman in the world, Mr. Chris, and we were having a bit of gumbarrowing together. Gumbarrowing, if you're new to the channel, by the way, it's the word in Greek for best man. So that's like best man at your wedding, but it's a word used pretty much for friend. And you'll hear people saying Daxi Ray, Gumbaro, 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 Gumbaro. So I've sort of Englified that word and put gumbarrowing on the end of it. So if ever you hear me say gumbarrowing or they're all gumbarrowed up, it means they've got all their friends with them. Simple. So I'm often in the harbour and often gumbarrowed up with the policeman and Mr. Chris. And Mr. Chris, the greatest sponge salesman in downtown Paphos, or possibly in the world, knows an awful lot of people. I've never known a man in Cyprus who doesn't know more people, by the way. He's a fascinating guy, speaks very good English, as you may have noticed, and you don't have to buy a sea sponge to stop and have a chat with him. There's been a couple coming up and down every day this week in these electric chairs, which they brought from the UK, mobility scooters, obviously. They may have hired him here, I don't know. But anyway, they're on him. And he plays music. You're going the wrong way down the one-way street. But never mind, doesn't really matter. This is Cyprus. As you just noticed, I went the wrong way down a brand new road. But it doesn't matter. If you're in Cyprus, just be careful when you're driving around. Because, you know, just because you're on a one-way road or you're on a dual carriageway, that doesn't mean that someone may not be coming the other way. Anyway, back to the gentleman and his wife who were coming whizzing up and down every day when I go and see Chris. And he plays music. And some old ballads and that kind of thing. Quite nice, actually, and it's quite calm. Like I say, they were coming past every day, so we'd say hi and have a laugh and a joke with them. And they haven't bought a sponge, and that's fine, because you never know, one day they might. But it's all about interacting with people and chatting and talking and being friends and perhaps making their whole day that little bit special. So superstars who are flying into Birmingham late last night, so they're probably sleeping today. And you never know, they might watch the little channel Marika and me once or twice. So big good morning to you. Anyway, talking about some funny stories, I was sitting there yesterday with Paphos, who's the policeman in charge of the Kato Paphos Harbour, and we were chatting away, and he met a man the other day in a one-way street. And I said to him, were you going the right way, Paphos? And he said, yes, I was, but the car coming the other way was not. So I stopped him and I said to him, you know, you're a naughty man. And then the man begged him not to give him a ticket because he said, oh, he hadn't got any money and he was poor. So Paphos decided not to give him a ticket. You see, Cyprus is quite a relaxed place. And then we got on the subject of red traffic lights, and Paphos said, well, you know, most policemen drive through red traffic lights in Paphos, so it would not be fair to give someone a ticket for driving through a red traffic light. Did you hear that, Miss Andrea? There we are. And I bet Miss Anastar's sitting there in downtown Krakow now going, oh my God, the place is lawless. It is. It really is, Anne. It really is. And we were also talking about mobile phones, because I said to him, you know, most people are driving around on their mobile phone. What's your opinion on that, Paphos? And he said, well, I don't ever give people a ticket for talking on their mobile phone. And I said, but it's illegal, why don't you? And he said, well, I drive and talk on my mobile phone, so it wouldn't be fair. So there's a logic in there somewhere, isn't there? Because, you know, I'm not going to say where I'm from, but where I'm from, I've often seen policemen driving around on mobile phones, and then they pull you over and give you a ticket for it. Whereas at least Paphos understands that we all talk on our mobile phones while we're driving around. I know we shouldn't, but we do. And because he does it as well, his logic is he can't punish you for doing something that he does, if you understand what I'm saying. So there's the fun in the games, there's the jokes on the little channel known as Marika and me. If you like what you see, hit that like, doesn't cost you a penny. Why not hit the subscribe button? Doesn't cost you a penny. And I mean that. You're not going to get scammed, as someone asked me. YouTube's not going to charge you. We can't charge you. It's just a way of you showing YouTube that you like what you've seen, and perhaps YouTube will then recommend it. I'm confusing my English, I need a coffee. Will recommend it to more and more people. Let's let these people go. We may as well. You never know, they might want to watch it. Is he going to run them over? You know, this is all you've got to wonder about, by the way. Don't assume that the car's seen you in downtown Paphos or anywhere else in the world, isn't it? Unless someone signals you to cross, please, even on a zebra crossing, do not step out, because, well, your whole day can end in a complete and utter tragedy, can't it? Where are we now? Downtown Kato Paphos Harbour. That's the Paphos Harbour roundabout. If you want to rent one of these scoots, that's where you go. There's the superstar known as Miss Maria. She'll take your money off you. She'll recommend you the 3-seater ones or the 1-seater ones. Technically, you're supposed to wear a little helmet on your head. But again, Paphos, the policeman in the harbour, said he will not ever issue a ticket to a tourist or a foreigner, as he said. So that's something always to remember. That's quite nice to know. So as a respect to foreigners, you're not going to get a ticket unless you're doing something naughty, obviously, like Mr. Paul going through red traffic lights and driving down the carriageways and all those kinds of things. But hey, that was a first on the YouTube, I think, for that road. I doubt anyone else has been on it. You never know. Drop in the comments if they have, but hopefully that was the first. Anyway, on that note, why not hit the like, click subscribe, perhaps come back for a little bit more of our madness. And if you want to help us out, keep us afloat, why not go through to our About page, where you could consider to buy us a coffee or two on the Buy Me a Coffee platform. That's a platform which allows you to virtually buy us a coffee or two or three or four, as many as you choose to buy us. And we thank you very, very much from the bottom of our two hearts. I'll look forward to seeing you again very soon. Perhaps you won't, but guess what? I'll be back tomorrow at the same time. Thanks for watching. That's the spectacular view out across the blue Mediterranean Sea. I'm going to park up and I'm going to go and sit with my friend Mr. Chris, and I think there was another policeman sitting with him as well, if you noticed, well, standing by him. So I'm going to go and get arrested by him or make friends with him. It's that simple. Thanks for watching, and of course we will see you again very, very soon indeed. That's a nice van, isn't it? It's all been blinged up a little bit, isn't it? Quite nice, that. Might have to get one. Thanks for watching, and of course we will see you again very, very soon indeed.